Okay, so the game started. We have... Oh boy. Hold on a second, I gotta have somebody once again tell me. Actually, I think we might be able to wait until they put that information on the top side of the screen, but clearly we can see that both players are once again at the top. There's Flash. Oh, he's doing that thing where he winks his eye over and over again at the very start. I've actually noticed after watching Flash play a lot that he does this thing, where he just like blinks that right eye ever so often at the very beginning of the game. It must like bring him good luck or something, or turn the macro elements of his I don't know, frontal lobe on. I don't know what it does. Okay, so here we see that Flash is at the top right, and Mind is at the top left. On what better map than Andromeda? Andromeda is a very interesting map. It's a map, well, it's one of these maps where you have a mineral expansion within your base, which is not going to be that particularly helpful in a matchup like Terran versus Terran because it is so gas intensive. And then you have a expansion that I would kind of call this a natural expansion, and that does have a Vespian gas geyser. But I'm curious to see what players are going to do with these mineral-only expansions, if they're going to take them anyways, if they're going to ignore them and play only focusing on these Vespian gas expansions. Because the Terran tech tree is one that is really centered around tanks, Goliath dropships, and the other gas-costing units. So far, well, we see that Flash has not yet put up his barracks. And he will do that right... No, excuse me, a command center. I should have been able to tell that right away because the barracks would have been put up a while ago. We can see a refinery about to finish for Mind. Presumably he has a barracks as well. There it is. So we've kind of been going back and forth between one player opting to fast expand and the other player playing more by the book. I will admit, though, the fast expand builds between these two have not turned out to be as effective. But that could all change in a heartbeat. They wouldn't be doing it unless they were confident with it. KTF versus We Made Fox. The barracks, of course, will finish a little bit later for Flash. This does give Mind some rush potential. Here's one Marine chilling. Barracks scouting now. Now note that it looks like Mind is in fact going to scout his opponent last, which will give Flash a massive advantage when doing a fast expansion build such as this one. And the factory has finally started for Flash. And look at this. It looks like Mind will in fact end up getting a very fast command center as well. And while that command center starts, Flash's lands. Logically, at the expansion with the refinery, he will need that gas. And one Vulture comes out, so he did make that command center after the factory. The Vulture could prove to be very effective in the harassment of his opponent. Look at this, a bunker is up, but it's not done. He might be saving that to see if he can spot whether or not, or spot exactly what his opponent's doing, and then if it turns out that his opponent is doing something that does not require the bunker, then he can cancel that. The Vulture Bike could prove to be mildly effective against, well, the bunker could prove to be mildly effective against the Vulture, but then again, the Vulture could just run by and start owning it up on some SCVs. Here we see he did, in fact, cancel the bunker. I think it's a pretty smart move. You can really see how calculated this build is. Not wasting that money on the bunker will allow him to get pretty far ahead with his fast expo build. You don't want to give up any of that momentum that you have, for a bunker. for a bunker. 2 factories up. I believe both players have 2 factories up. Now, I think a critical point that we need to pay a lot of attention to is going to be the cliff over Mine's base, and that's because that would be an ideal spot to land a few tanks there for a drop, which could really prove to be effective against this fast Expo. Now, note that he did land a barracks there in an attempt to make a marine which could be used to scout his opponent. It did not prove to be very effective. Drop ships on the way. Armory completed. I'm curious as to how this game will develop differently than our first game we saw. We do see him grabbing 1 SCV. He might be going to the island. And since he does have the dropship advantage, since he didn't fast expand, he will be able to secure an island more easily. Once he takes that out, he will have more secure position over. Okay, hold that thought. Here comes the dropship now. Whoa. Okay. All right. Well, here comes the dropship instead. Going to go over here and try to take out that 1 Marine. I was curious what he was doing with that SCV. He might have been planning on putting some towers or turrets up over the expansion. It looks like the barracks is going to get taken out. The barracks will slow down. Without a barracks, he cannot make a factory. And in fact, he will be taking that island, since he does have the dropship count advantage. 1 Goliath here in timeout over on this cliff. And pretty withdrawn game so far. Here come the Goliaths now to try to take out this barracks. Oh, but looks like some tanks are going to come in here as well. And he's going to have to get that dropship out of there fast. He does not want to lose that. Not as many SCVs as he should have at that expansion. Flash seems to be doing a better job of keeping the SCV distribution good. You know, it's very easy to not pay attention to those mineral patches, and suddenly you realize you have 12 SCVs on one, at one expo, and 39 at another expo. Oh, what's up now, Scandid? You got owned. Looks like SCVs can take out other units. Although, really, you think the Scandid could kick some ass. I mean, being the neutral unit still, it looks like a Scorpion thing. I would not fight that. These drop ships are in a defensive spot, so that if he drops there, he can unload easily and take it out. If he goes somewhere else, he won't have to waste time loading up. Terran do not have a mobile army, especially when they mech. Vultures are mobile, but they aren't very effective in this matchup. And looks like he scanned that bottom right expansion, so the response, of course,